Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the highlight reveals from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Now obviously there were just thousands and thousands of things shown off there, so we can't talk about all of them. So if I missed something and you're excited about it, go ahead and let us know in the comment section below. And if you saw something here that you're really excited about, let me know which thing that was. Now as you guys know, I wasn't able to get a hotel for Comic-Con again this year, so I wasn't able to attend, but Toy Arc does a great job of covering all the new reveals, so all credit goes to them for these photos. Just want to talk about them a little bit, not claiming that these are my photos or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and dive into it, look at some of the Storm Collectibles offerings. Now the first one I want to talk about is one we saw before, but people are real excited for this one. This is obviously Lobo in the Injustice outfit, and people are just psyched. They're like, yes, finally an awesome Lobo figure. And I can't disagree, it does look really, really good. I just want to point out the one thing I noticed last time, he still has muffin tops, and I still don't know if that's accurate because I don't have the game and I couldn't find a good image of it, but otherwise he does look really good. And then the next one is Bane, and I'm told this one looks really good too. Again, I'm not 100% sold on these Injustice designs. His head is so small. I don't know what's going on there. His head is tiny. Like, if his bones get bigger everywhere else, his head should get bigger too. Or they shouldn't at all and it should just be muscle. But either way, it looks cool for what it is. I'm told it's accurate, so that's awesome if you guys like Bane. Next up, we got a first look at Doomsday, which a lot of people are very excited about. A lot of people are complaining that it doesn't look very good, and I'm kind of in between. Now, Doomsday look is pretty much the same as his standard look, so I think that's all right. Though I do think, and again, I don't know what's accurate or not, this particular one looks to be a little bit light on the aggressiveness. All the spikes and things seem a little bit toned down. Is that just the way he looks in Injustice? Because I guess that would make sense then, and in which case it looks pretty good. So good on Storm if it's accurate, and if it's not, let's get some more spikes. Next up, we just kind of have a quick sort of accessory reveal from the BMX ninjas. You can see, well, we already saw the net before, but now you see on the left we have some kind of weird like ratcheted mechanism, and then the blue BMX ninja. I don't know their names. I think Cyrax is a yellow one, but I've never been a fan of the BMX ninja, so I don't know their names. But the blue one's got some kind of like weird anglerfish light bulb thingy, so that's kind of cool. And then you do get to see the new Scorpion. There will apparently be a bloody version. I doubt very much that there won't be, even though it doesn't appear to be officially announced as a release. Still something you might be interested in. And then the next one I want to look at is the Scorpion, which was already available at the convention and should be available for everyone else very soon, and it looks gorgeous. It looks so good. And so here's the thing, a lot of the early photos they showed made it look like the face was really kind of elongated and kind of off-putting. I'm hoping what we're seeing here is the actual final release where it's been tinkered with, because this looks fantastic. It looks so good. It looks so good. But the problem is they also showed Baraka, and Baraka is the same as on the back of the box rather than the final figure. So kind of a mystery so far. But this, if it comes out looking like this, oh boy, I'm pretty excited for that. Though they didn't show Sub-Zero, so that's kind of a bummer. Next thing we get to look at is Marcus Phoenix from Gears 5, and this is apparently classic Marcus, but not quite classic. I don't know much about Gears 5, but he looks skinny and very young, so I don't know what's going on with that. Looks like lots of nice details and a cool figure, but I've never seen, I did play through Gears 5 for the most part. Gears 4, whatever the last one was where he was in it, Gears 5 is a new one. Gears 4 is the old one. Or is the other way around? I don't know. Anyway, he's skinny. He's skinny, and they've never been skinny before, so I don't know about that, but it looks cool otherwise. And then next one we get is a generic female character to take the lead role for press purposes, and it actually looks like a really good character. It looked like a good figure, not a good character. I mean, it's probably not a good character if I had to guess based on the last Gears I played, which I think was 4. I don't know which is which. But it looks like a really good figure. I'm excited for that, for everybody who's interested in this. I'm not personally, but it does look really nice. And then coming up next, we get another look at Marcus Phoenix. This is the old one, which, I mean, it says vintage Marcus. I don't know what that means. I thought he was old in the last game. I don't know what's going on. But this one actually has some chunk to him. He's got some chunk to him, and that looks pretty good. But I don't know if people are real interested in this particular look. I mean, for me personally, I want Gears 1, 2, 3 figures. Those are what I want. But these all look really good. So if you're that kind of Gears fan, then this is going to be a good release for you, probably. If I could venture a guess. And then speaking of more classic figures, we do have Augustus Cole, which does look awesome. That head sculpt looks pretty good. It could be a little better, I think, but I definitely think it's within the reasonable range. And he is a little bit slender, more so than he probably should be, but he doesn't stand out as much because he only has the vest armor rather than the arms and everything. So I think that does look pretty good, and I'm actually pretty psyched for it. So it's kind of cool. It's nice to see Gears get some more attention other than crappy games. So let's hope things turn out good going forward for Gears. Next thing I want to talk about is Naked Man on a Dragon. I just forgot the name of the game. I played this game as a kid. I never owned it, but I played it and I loved it. But this is going to be a good release for people. Why can't I think of the name? Oh man. Well, that's the way it goes. Anyway, the dragon looks cool. The naked guy, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing, looks cool. We'll just leave it there. And then we also get a look at Iori. That's his name, right? I never played this game either. Everybody keeps telling me you gotta play SNK or Final Fight. SNK versus Final Fight is probably the one they told me to play. I don't know, guys. I played Street Fighter my whole life exclusively. Oh, Turtles Tournament Fighters. Let's get some figures from that. But anyway, this one looks pretty good. He does look a little bit thick, kind of like that last one I reviewed, which I can't think of the name. I'm very sick, by the way, so I'm sorry. I can't focus, but I need to get this video done, so I'm trying. Bear with me. Anyway, this one looks pretty good, but as you can see across the chest, he is pretty buff, and he's supposed to be very slender, so I can imagine some people aren't going to love that, but it doesn't look terrible, so I guess that's all right. And then next up, we have a very significant release. I know lots of people were very hyped for this, and this is, of course, Terry Bogard. The only other one we have, at least as far as I can remember, that's fully articulated is the old, I want to say Figma made it. Did Figma make it or Figure Arts? One of them. And it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But this one looks pretty darn good. Like, that seems to be the appropriate proportions for him, so I'm kind of psyched about that. So it's a pretty nice release. It'll be good to add that to the collection. And next up, we get a look at Jin. Finally! You would have thought we'd have Jin by now for Tekken, but the other ones were good choices, so I'm fine with that, and I'm happy to finally see Jin. And really, the only thing that's going to make or break this figure is the head sculpt and the flame pattern. And so far, the head sculpt looks alright, and the flame pattern looks pretty good. So if those things can hold up over the production process, then I imagine there are going to be very many happy people. Then we get a look here at a pending approval version. A lot of these have been pending approval, by the way, but of Kazuya, where he's got stuff going on. Battle damage and forehead beams and I think an extra eyeball going on. I don't know. I only played Tekken when it was free on Xbox 360, so I don't know that much about it. But it looks cool, and you guys are probably going to be good with that. It looks like another strong release. And then moving forward, we're going to look at NECA's Turtles a little bit. We're getting more Target 2-packs. And so we're going to get a whole new batch of foot soldiers, which I put air quotes around, but you couldn't see them, because they're mostly the same figures. It looks like one's getting a new head, and then we have some accessories. Not exactly groundbreaking things here, but we are getting a cartoon version of April, and it does look really good. It's a little strange though, because she seems to be, and so does Casey, we'll get to that in a second, very heavily stylized. Like, there's lots of black lines on there, whereas the other ones only had cell shading and a little bit of black lines. Like, look at the foot next to her. You can only see a couple black lines on his face and neck area. The rest is all just the cell shaded look. And I don't see much cell shading here, so it's kind of strange, but we'll see. It's cool to get another release, especially a unique character. And then, like I mentioned, we are going to be getting a Casey Jones, which I know many people are very excited about, and it looks great. It looks just like cartoon Casey Jones. Again, we do have a little bit of the stylized line work, almost like Borderlands, but we'll see. It still looks awesome, so that's cool. And then one thing I want to touch on real quick before we move on is apparently the turtles are getting repainted in more neon colors for the skin. So when you get the turtles in these new packs, they're not going to be the exact same figures as before, if only by color. So if that's a good thing, I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think about that. I know at this point I've got about 1,000 of these turtles. No, but we've got at least 2 of each. And so I'm not sure we need more, but I imagine they can't sell like to the stores or as a general marketing thing, only other characters than turtles in a turtles line. So I get it. That's fine. Next up, we get a look at Metalhead, which was one of my favorite figures as a kid just because of the chrome and the light piping and whatnot, and it looks faithful. It looks very faithful to the cartoon, so that's very nice. I'm excited about that. Is it faithful to the cartoon or is it faithful to the game? I heard somewhere that we were getting Turtles in Time stuff. Am I crazy about that? Where did I hear that? Because this is all... Is this Turtles in Time 2-packs now? I don't know. Either way, we're getting it. Doesn't really matter what it's from, so that's really cool. And then in addition to that, we also got... This is definitely cartoon slash. unless he looked like this in the game as well. And I know most people don't like cartoon Slash, but it's still going to be a nice addition to the collection, so I'll take it. But I would definitely have the meaner looking one if I had my choice. And then I think the last one for the Turtles I want to talk about, maybe not, is Leatherhead, which was always one of my favorite characters. And this one looks pretty good. Definitely the cartoon look, if memory serves. It says cartoon on the card right there, so it's got to be cartoon look. But it looks awesome, so it's nice to add more characters to the Turtles collection. I think many people are going to be psyched about that. NECA generally delivers on those. Next up, I want to look at the 1000 Toys or Sentinel Toys, depending on where you look. That's a manufacturing thing, so don't worry about who's making it. Master Chief from, I don't know if it's officially Kombat Evolved or if it's like a it's hard to say because it's so incredibly stylized. And I know there are just so many Halo fans out there who are just fudging their shorts over this, but it's highly inaccurate, like grossly 100% more than Play Arts ever was. That's an exaggeration. Inaccurate. He's built very much like a woman. And I'm not going to make a it is ma'am joke because I feel like the times have changed, so I can't do that. But it looks very feminine. Level of finish looks great, but very feminine, so I'm not so sold on that. We also get a look at their Dante from the new Devil May Cry game, and it is gross. Moving on. Nero looks a little bit better, but I don't know how anybody likes these new character designs, and these figures only look questionable at best, so pass on that. Moving on to McFarlane, who is going full on weeb apparently, and now we have My Hero Academia figures. And the two little guys on the left and maybe the guy on the right look okay, but the big guy, All Might, in the blue and the red and the white, looks disgusting. So I can't imagine that being a successful line. We'll see. It doesn't seem to me that McFarlane's the right company for anime characters, but hey, let them do what they're gonna do. We also have Doom Guy shown here, and it looks like it's going to be kind of in line with what you would expect from McFarlane. Fair amount of detail sculpted and painted, fairly muddy paints, and fairly minimal articulation. Proportion speaking, Doom Guy's regular human shaped as far as I'm aware, and this is not quite that, so I don't know how people are going to receive this. It looks kind of cool, but also at the same time it looks very much like a kid's toy. Coming from McFarlane, that's kind of strange. So we'll just move on from that. And then the last thing I want to talk about from McFarlane, I think, unless I added something I didn't remember I added, is the batch of Mortal Kombat figures we're getting. So you have Scorpion and Sub-Zero here, and these guys, in terms of level of stylization and quality and whatnot, reminded me a lot of Mezco. If the Mezco figures were toned down from realism, cartooned up a little bit, and added some janky articulation. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Like, they're gonna be kind of cool for people that don't want to spend any money or people that don't have a choice because they don't have any other figures of these guys in these outfits. But it doesn't seem like a particularly high-end product. And I know it's only a $20 price point, but still, there's something about them. I think it's the lack of shading maybe, or the excessively vibrant colors, or the tiny I don't know. There's something about them that's a little weird. Also, Scorpion's swords are upside down, so I don't know about that, but maybe that's how it is in the game. Either way, they look like halfway cool and halfway turbo, so you guys can let me know what you think about those as well. And then we're going to close it out by looking at some things we don't normally look at. We have Mezco's Michael Jackson here. It looks all right. Fingernails are a little bit long. The suit, I don't remember him ever being in that, and eyes are a little bit red, but otherwise, it does look pretty good. They are releasing a Gambit, not to be outdone by Hasbro's valiant effort. I said with a heavy sarcasm. And this looks really good in all the ways except one, which is the jacket. It looks like he's wearing his dad's jacket. The sleeves are huge. Very strange looking sleeves, and this photo doesn't really do them justice. They look much worse in other photos, so maybe they can work on that a little bit, but otherwise it looks pretty spiffy. And then the last thing from them is one that is like, I think their best figure that they've ever done. And of course we can't tell too much about it because it's in a seated pose, but this Ghost Rider on his bike is just, whew, boy, that's really, really spiffy. I like that a lot. The flames on the bike and the head and the chain all look really nice. And since he's probably not going to be in the most dynamic of poses, you'll be able to deal with the jacket nicely, and you won't have to worry about posing him too much anyway. So all the inherent problems of Mezco's figures is just kind of disappear, and he's just going to sit there and look awesome. And since he doesn't have human parts, the leather combined with like the skull and the flames, it blends. It looks so much more natural than some of these other figures where you have like mostly cloth and then like plastic cowls and stuff where it just kind of breaks the immersion. This doesn't have that, so this is kind of awesome. Okay, so that's going to do it, guys, for this first part of this breakdown. This is already a long video and we have lots more to talk about, so come back tomorrow for that one and we'll talk about a whole bunch more stuff. But don't forget to let me know in the comment section below what you liked from this video and what you would like to see in tomorrow's video. I might see your comment before I edit it, you never know, and I could try to get that in there for you. That's what she said. But otherwise, it's a wrap on this one. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep collecting.